Hi, it's Ed again. I'm a little late this time. This is my third week, and I'm doing this on a Tuesday evening at about almost quarter to 8 Central or Chinese time, p.m. I was out kind of busy on Sunday, and I normally do it on a Sunday, but today I'm starting it on a Tuesday. Anyway, let's backtrack. Go back to Monday. Monday's a day off company-wide, so I went to IKEA and just got some household things. Nothing very exciting, but I did learn that the two floors of IKEA, one floor is just for show, the other floor is for buying all the stuff. So I wasted a lot of time while trying to literally grab stuff out of the display, thinking I could buy it. Eventually, I figured out I wasn't supposed to. Also, there's a taxi stand at the back of IKEA, like there was last time, and there are regular taxis you can take instead of the cargo van taxis, which I took last time for my handful of stuff. I thought those were the only cabs out there, but the regular taxis are about 1/3 the cost of the cargo van taxis. But the cargo vans are great if you're getting big stuff. But I managed to jam my stuff into a regular taxi, and it was so much cheaper. So if you're ever in Shanghai at IKEA, look for the regular taxis if you don't have big stuff. Tuesday, I had scheduled a meeting to meet with our new coach, a new coach coming from the Iron Bowl further up north near actually, he's coming from south, near Shenzhen. He is very capable, already an experienced coach. He fenced for the national team in saber. He was head coach of a sports school where he's coming from, and he's got some great ideas on how to teach beginning class. He comes from another big, huge club called Vongol, depending on who you talk to, and they have, as I've been told, 20,000 members, kids, and they have a second school, and I've heard they're opening a third one here in Shanghai. Anyway, so I was supposed to meet with this guy. He asked to talk to me for about 2 or 3 hours, he said. We didn't have our management meeting. I said, perfect. So I go in there, and in walks another coach. And he's trying to tell me the entire history, the head coach, he's telling me the history of Sika and all the ins and outs and all the infighting and all the politics and what the other coaches are willing to do or not do. And the meeting ended up being 7 hours with my translator. That poor girl. 7 hours. And in between there, we had to run off and pick up my medical report in order to get my work visa. And then I have to go get my residency. And then I have to get a work permit. And it's an ongoing process. So hopefully, I've had this cough since I came here. Hopefully I'll get this all done soon. I believe it's going to be another 8 more days, I think, until I can go back and reapply for some other part. Somebody else is handling it. It's important to know that who you know matters here in China. Something was missing. I landed on one day, and you're supposed to report to the police station within 3 days, and I didn't go until almost 30 days after. So they said, come back tomorrow. And basically, this guy didn't want to deal with it. So I went back and I told the company, and they sent somebody who's well connected in this area, and they were able to get it through the way it should have gone. So thank God for that. On Wednesday, we had a meeting with these American guys, and thank God, a meeting in English, it took like half the time a normal meeting would have taken. So they were consultants for a different sport where they're trying to help use this sport to get their clients into American universities. Basically what we're trying to do here for fencing. Some of the things that they said didn't sound right to me. The dates for when you can recruit, how old one of their kids was signed to commit to a university, the tests that are required to be an NCAA student athlete. uh, just weren't right. This didn't sound right to me, but I wasn't positive, so I got verification, and they're in fact not right. So I'm a little concerned about these guys. But still, it was a nice meeting. Got to speak English, and I don't know if we're going to do much business with them. We may. Um, Thursday and Friday, I really don't know what I was doing because we have a parents' meeting last Sunday that I had been putting together a presentation for, and the more information I found out, the more it kept changing. So I try and steer it towards putting out fires before they even got started. But so me and my poor translator had she put together a very nice PowerPoint, and I think she did a great job. Saturday, before the parents' meeting, we had to go to a Shanghai American School Carnival, where they have a bunch of food and some people selling things and displays of fundraising for clubs in the school and bubble soccer, which was really cool. And we were doing fencing demonstrations where the kids could hit a balloon off the dummy and pop it, or they could stab one of our guys who had a tape mark of an X on him, and if they hit 2 out of 3, or they popped the balloon in 3 tries, they'd get a stuffed animal, a bear. And most of these other places were all asking for money, coupons, but ours was free. And not only was it free, but they could walk away with something. On top of our brochure and a business card, they could get a stuffed animal. And that was a big draw. So we did quite well there. And I hope we get some new members, some fresh blood. Seem to get a lot more response from adults, parents, and other vendors who are all interested in taking fencing. Met 2 people there from Chicago. Well, Libertyville, and one of them's from the city. So that was kind of cool. So we talked about that for a while. But then I had to run off, and I went to watch a epee tournament. For some reason, instead of calling them circuits, they call the tournament stops. First stop is the first tournament. Second stop. This was the 6th stop, which is the second to last stop in the Chinese fencing season, which I found out ends like January 1st or 2nd. So this stop is divided into 2, which is unusual because usually they have all 3 weapons all in one place at the same time. The 6th stop is going to have first the epee, men's and women's epee in Shanghai in this club. The second part of the 6th stop is going to be saber and foil in Shenzhen 2 weeks later. I don't know why. Anyway, I went to this club called Shine and went to the tournaments on the 5th floor. You can see this club from the highway. I mean, it is so visible. Everybody knows that there's this fencing club in Shanghai. And they say, oh yeah, I see that one from your highway. I said, no, that's not ours. That's a different one. But I walk in there wearing all my Sika gear, jacket, shirt, green and white, and their colors are blue. And I'm sticking out like a sore thumb, looking in there. There's only kids class going on. So this 6'3" woman comes up to me and she says something to me in Chinese. I'm assuming it's like, "Can I help you?" or something. And I'm like looking for a tournament. I turned on my international data roaming so I could use my translator app and say, hey, looking for fencing competition. I show it to them in Chinese. It says it. They don't know what I'm talking about. Finally, I find out I'm at the wrong club. She shows me where the club is, and I end up getting over there in time for one bout to see one of our guys who made the top 8 lost his first bout in the top 8. So at least I got to see something and see the tournament. And it was a long day. That's a Saturday, because Sunday was the parents' meeting. And I'm kind of dreading it because one of the moms told me that the parents were getting together and building a list of demands for me. Parents. I mean, I don't know why parents think they know how to run a fencing club or teach, but they do. They think that they pay, they can, they don't, they know. But so I got ready. I got ready for it. I had my presentation all set. The PowerPoint was all done, and we were just going to go through it and address things as they came up. And I'm like, you know what? Thank God I took that improv class at Second City, because I was able to take on conversations and either deal with it or pivot the conversation away to something completely different so they forgot what they even asked about. And fortunately, the meeting actually was pretty good. They were very constructive. They were very insightful, and me seeing, their perspective from where they are, it did everything that they had issues with. I actually agreed with. I agreed these are things that do need to be addressed in Sika. Sika has some problems and issues, and all clubs do. And yeah, we should definitely take care of it. One parent kind of got on me about kids, parents being in the fencing area. I mean, some of these parents are literally hands on their kids during private lessons and group class. The coach will tell them to stand with their arm like this or shoulder down, and the mom will run over and push the kid's shoulder down and hold the kid's arm up and move his hand and fix his leg. I mean, sit down, relax, go watch. We have a coach here to do all that. But for some reason, they feel that that's their job, is to get in there and get this kid to do it immediately correctly. And I think these kids aren't learning as much because everything's being done for them, literally how to stand. And I think they need to make mistakes. I think they need to learn that to try it on their own and make a mistake and fix it themselves with some help. And that way I think they learn it better. That's just me. I don't know. But anyway, I set this rule. We have this beautiful glass wall. All parents have to stay behind it. And she said, well, there's room in the corner there. We set up a chair and I can sit there. I'll be out of the way. And I said, well, what happens when the kids run by? What happens if you have to go to the bathroom, you kick out a floor cord? What happens if there's not enough room for all the parents who want to sit over there and they want to sit someplace else because you get to sit over there? So I said, I give you an inch and you'll take a mile. Fortunately, I had one other mom in there on my side. She said, yeah, you're right. We can't go in there because if you let somebody in, they're all going to want to go in and there's not going to be enough room. Love her. I don't know her name, but I love her. Anyway, that was the only big issue that came up. I had to do the same thing again in the Puxi Center. I did Pudong first and then Puxi in the afternoon. And that one had to be more in Chinese because Pudong, everybody spoke English very well. Not so much in Puxi. Just a couple of them needed translation. So that took a little bit longer because of the translation, but again, pretty productive meeting. The parents had some really good questions, really good concerns. A lot of the things they asked about were things we talked about in management meetings, so I know we're both thinking about the same things, and if that's a good thing, so that we're both worried about the same things so that we get things done. Monday, again, is our day off. We had a company outing to a city called Wuxi, which is about 2 hours west of Shanghai. They have this giant temple. I was there last summer with a giant, huge 20-story golden Buddha. Really cool. On the way there, we stopped into some caves in Wuxi, which was also really cool. The stone stalactites and stalagmites formed shapes of some animals, elephants, bears. I mean, some of them you really had to use your imagination on, but it was really cool. I never thought there were caves there, but there's a lot of mountains, so why not? And after that, we went to a temple where you take a funicular up a mountain, go to the top. Up there's this huge temple. We lit incense and prayed and made a wish, and it was really kind of nice. And to go back down, you literally go down a slide like a kid on your butt down the mountain. And they had these plastic, sort of like pants, but it's like an apron, except you wear it backwards so that it protects your butt, and you tie the two ends, long ends, to your ankles, and they give you gloves, and you just, and it was a lot of fun. I wanted to video it, but they said you'll probably drop your camera or your phone on the turns because the turns got a little rough. So I said, all right, I'm not going to risk it. And there was a couple of stoppages and pileups because somebody stopped. I don't know, on a turn. All of a sudden they just got stuck or something. But other than that, it was a ride. We got down there. It was a 4-minute slide ride, all going down a mountain. So that was kind of fun. After that, we went to the lake at Wuxi, which is huge, and it's bigger. The lake itself is bigger than the city of Shanghai, area-wise. It looks like on a map anyway. And we did canoe or kayak racing. You know this one? And we were given instruction by the 5-time Chinese national champion woman kayaker, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't get her name, but I took a picture with her and I put my hand on her back. It was like touching a stone. I mean, she was like a rock, and she's taller than me, so she's probably 6 feet. And when she put her oar or paddle into the water, that boat just shot out. When I did it, my boat started just moving forward. So the difference between her technique and her training and me winging it, I mean, it was clear that there's a difference, and it's worth training because she just really made that thing move and turned on a dime, and mine just took big wide turn. Hers just spun around. I don't know how she did that, but so that was really cool, and it was a lot of fun. And that night we stayed at a hotel that was very Japanese, Buddhist, calming. It was wonderful. It was just wonderful place to stay. It was the most comfortable, peaceful place I've ever been to for a hotel. And food was a little rough to eat for me. It's crab season. I'm not a big, these shapes crab. I'm not big on that. So it's crab season. It's going to be so delicious. You got to have it. And, I took a pass on it. And then one of the other coaches, Donnie, who was always eating. I mean, this guy's always got food in his mouth. Broke it open for me and just said, yeah, just eat it. Just eat, take a bite out of this. And he showed me what to eat and what not to eat. So they took out all the lung. You're not supposed to eat the lung. I didn't even know crabs had lungs. So they took that out for me, and I said, yeah, just eat the rest. And I started, it was good. It's very rich, but it was good. So I could say I did it. I did. I took pictures. So that's about it for this week. I just got back today. Oh, I just got my hair cut. Imagine going to a place to get your hair cut. They don't speak English. So I'm doing my charades of sides, short, top, longer. I said, now we'll just see what happens. It costs 40 RMB. It's about $6. Felt like I should pay them more, but I probably paid too much now that I think about it. I didn't haggle at all. I just paid them. It's because it was $6. So anyway, that's all that's going on right now. Next week, I have meeting a school official. I'm going to Beijing to meet the second in command for the Chinese Fencing Federation. And I'll tell you all about that meeting next week when I get back. I'm going to be back Friday, and hopefully I'll get this all taped again on Sunday. So have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.